Everybody, hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of the Big Three. It was the big me that held us up because nature called, and at this age, I don't rush shit. Okay, literally, I don't rush shit. So when nature called at literally like, oh, I have time, bitch. No, I didn't have the time. I just took, so I took my time and now I'm here, feeling a whole lot lighter and ready to engage in some great dialogue.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
He's a
it,
ray of sunshine today, isn't he?
TMI.
it is what it is. I want everybody to know because I like to be on time. I like to be on time. But tonight, it was something else that was on time. It was right on time. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. I know everybody's out there. I'm glad that you're here. We got so many great viewers and great followers, supporters on the line, ready to go to have this conversation. Now, we start right off the bat, people talking about the results from last night's election. Look, I gotta get my lotion because I washed my hands and I ain't not a dry. So, people, I'm opening the floor up to the two of you. What say ye? Because I mean, there's a lot to be said. Who gonna start this off?
You go first, Tiff. And then I'll
Okay.
jump in.
Listen, y'all done put me in the hot seat. Let's go. All right. Here's the thing. I have said from the very beginning of this race that this was going to come down to Latino voters. And y'all know I said that shit. And we saw exactly what I was saying happened last night. They were going to go one way or the other. And it does not surprise me that Latinos were voting for James Talarico. And I think that is something that we need to discuss. And we need to also talk about why, right? What was the reason why they voted for him? And I think when there's multiple reasons, because if you look at the results, you can see in certain areas where urban areas, they voted more for Jasmine. Mm-hmm. In the rural areas, they voted more, and on the border, they voted more for James. Latinos are a very divided community. They do not vote in lockstep as Black voters do, and even white voters do, right? They are very fickle, and they will go wherever they feel is where they can find a home, right? Whether that's Republicans, Democrats, the white Democrats, the Black Democrat, whatever it may be, they are so all over the goddamn place. And we cannot depend on them to be part of our coalition. Although some did come back, as we could see from the results, they did come back into the coalition from 2024. They are voting more Democrat but that doesn't mean that they're going to vote more Democrat in the general election, right? Because if Cornyn is the nominee, they could easily go back to voting. If I don't know that they will vote for Paxton because he's a little too crazy, but you never know. So, and again, this is only half of the Latinos in Texas that voted, right? I mean, it's crazy. But we do know that the Black vote did turn out for Jasmine. And I was a little surprised that she didn't get more Black vote in Harris County. I'm not going to lie. I thought she would have done much better in Harris County than she did. Whereas James in Travis County, he blew her ass out. He won like 70-23. I mean, them white folks showed the hell for him.
Austin don't play.
In Dallas County.
No, I'm talking about Travis County.
I think it's Austin.
No, I know that.
Hey, he's James, from Austin now.
Austin,
right, that's where the white voters
blew out. But
Dallas, we haven't even got to that. Yeah, we haven't even got to that.
General, but like I said, what to say? What to say in the right way? What to say? I live in reality, and I talk to a lot of people, a lot of boots on the ground. And I talked to a lot of people, and I talked to a lot of people that were not involved in the campaign. I talked to regular Texans. My dad lives there. I have siblings who live there. I have friends all around the state. A lot of them live in Dallas. Everyone I talked to all told me, I'm voting for Jasmine. I don't think she's going to win. And I wanted to know why. because what I didn't want to hear was electability. And some people did give me that. They were like, I don't think people are don't see her as electable. And I think that conversation affected white voters. From what I was told, Latino voters won in this moment were looking for someone who they thought would make them feel safe in the state of Texas in the current climate, and who was reaching out to be there. And I was told that Talarico was very present. His campaign was very present. His boots on the ground were very evident in those areas. And some people said he was pandering. Some people said that he was doing things that made him seem very Latino. I'm just telling you what they said. I don't know. I'm not saying
he was being a politician. He got to do what he got to do.
I was told, right? And I also was told that when it comes to Harris County, Jasmine did not build a coalition of support, that she took too much for granted from Black voters. That's what I was told. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying that that's how I feel. I'm just telling you what I was told, is that she took a lot for granted when it came to Black voters, instead of actually going out there from the start to build up that coalition with Black leadership.
I think that's a fair thing. I mean, she even admitted that she was running a non-traditional campaign. I mean, he had a 3-month head start on her, right? He also spent a hell of a lot of money. I think the
5-1.
That was a lot of people talked about that too, Tiff. A lot of the people I talked to said everywhere we go, we see James Talarico ads. We haven't seen any from Jasmine. Now, I defended that and said, Jasmine has the name recognition that James Talarico doesn't have. No one knows who the fuck he is. So as a result of that, she's saving her money for the general election, but shit.
Yeah, I mean, we had a conversation.
Now I see that was a big mistake.
Yeah, when we talked about it the last time, I think 2 weeks ago, we were talking about ads, and does ads really impact elections? And I think in this one, it seems like he did. One thing that somebody noted was that he had Spanish language ads. Yeah. And so if you are running ads on Televisión or Univision, and people are seeing your ads constantly and not seeing hers, and they're in the language that you understand, then guess what? That candidate's going to appeal towards you. So there's a lot of things to dissect about her campaign that I think many people, obviously people were criticizing the campaign aspect of it. And I think there's some fair criticisms toward her campaign and how she ran her campaign. Could she have done a better job? There's lots of things we can criticize. But I think the thing that most people are pissed about, and what kind of threw us into this, I think you made the point in your video, Kenny, is the fact that they were attacking her on the electability issue, attacking her personally, attacking us personally, that brought us into this race where we didn't even need to be a part of it. Had they kept it just between the candidates, it would have been a different story. But then they point the finger and say we were bullying. Get the fuck out of here.
Child, right now, I'm saying it's actually going to be what happened in this. We're just going to see what happens, because I mean they've been telling us 4 months that we don't really necessarily matter. They don't need the Black vote. We don't have to appeal to identity politics. We don't have to reach out to Black voters and try to garner their support. Is what I've been hearing since the start of this primary process, since Jasmine announced. But one thing I have been saying since what the foolishness that happened in Dallas County. And the fact that, the judge ruled that they could keep the polls open until 9 p.m. But then all of a sudden, Ken Paxton called the Texas Supreme Court to shut that down. And all of a sudden, all the people who were literally trying to find their polling places because the website was shut down and nobody knew where the fuck to go. And even though they had been to these polling places before the redistricting and been voting at the same precinct, all of a sudden they're being turned away and tell them, oh, after you waited a whole hour or 2 hours, you have to go somewhere else. Now you got to travel here to go this place. So it was hell. It was literally voter suppression at the highest level. And honestly, we don't even know how much she would have closed in the gap. We'll never know. But coulda, shoulda, woulda, right?
I think we'll know. I think it'll be revealed. I think as they're still waiting to see, I think that's going to go through the litigation process. We're going to find out. We'll know that if the votes would have made a difference. I don't think they would have, but we'll know.
At least hopefully we'll know. But I do know this, with things like that, especially when it comes to the way they manipulated this entire election process, particularly Republicans, is just a precursor or a foreshadowing of what's going to come in
Absolutely.
November. And I think a lot of us need to pay attention to that. But also what people need to pay attention to, and hopefully James Camp pays attention to. After all the harassment and bullying of Jasmine Crockett supporters, along with Jasmine Crockett as a person who literally just conceded the very next day and endorsed you full throated, um, there needs to be some sort of reckoning. You're gonna have to really work to earn, that black support. Hopefully, if it matters to you guys, if it matters.
Right.
And
But all I do
it's
know is that
possible.
go ahead.
So is that going to be possible? I know I went on to a friend of mine's because Facebook is the telltale. Facebook is the page. So I went to a friend
Niggas
of
is
mine.
mad. That's all I can tell you.
I went to a friend of mine's page, and I asked her. I called her, and I said, I want you to go through because she is from Houston. She's a Houston native. She lives now in Memphis. We used to work together, and I said, I want to know what your friends and your family members are saying, and it was nothing good. Black people, I think across the country feel some kind of way, but I think Black people in Texas feel in a special kind of way, and they were not happy. Now, who does not feel some kind of way is someone said earlier. I think you friend earlier who was saying, "I think great job on Roland." Thank you. Roland did not agree with the direction of the campaign. So anyone can go back to watch tonight's episode, skip to what Roland breaks down the election. It looks like this. I clipped it, a part of it. I am not gonna play it because I don't want no smoke. I do not want smoke. I don't want to piss anybody off because feelings are running high. But you can go and see this part of the show. It's like maybe starting about like it's deep, like maybe 90 minutes in. But he really broke it down, and I couldn't disagree with some of the things that he was saying around the coalition that was built, the boots on the ground, the number of people that Talarico filtered throughout the state, because that is how you run a campaign. And I do not necessarily disagree with the way that Jasmine spent her money because she was looking to the future, and money is tight, as we all know, in the Democratic Party because
Yeah.
Trump has made it toxic to give to us. So she had to look at the amount of money that the Republicans have, and she was holding on to it. It was just, I guess, maybe kind of a miscalculation, and we don't know where James Talarico's money was coming from. There's a whole lot about that that's still out there, but I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. The question is, are we going to rally behind James Talarico so that he beats John Cornyn?
I mean, I'm just going to encourage people to go vote, but I'm not going to do anything extra. I'm not going to tell black people what to damn do in this moment right now after you've literally been gaslit and spit in the face. So that's not for me to do. This James's job. He is the nominee, so it's his job and his campaign's job to reach out to black voters and try to garner that trust and make them feel safe in these spaces after they've harassed black voters and said, you don't matter. That's your job. I mean, this is your task, and I am going to hopefully hold you to what you want to do if you want to make that commitment or not. But again, the calculation is to go after, disheartened Republican, MAGA, or the centrist. Don't go really super left. Try to appease people, soften your tone. Be a good neighbor. I don't necessarily know what his damn. I don't know what the fuck he wants to do.
It's Mr. Rogers, okay?
It really is like it's like love thy neighbor. He said Trump
Like,
is a child of God.
yeah, I
A biblical verse. Jesus is the answer. Hum and sway. Kumbaya, my lord. All that shit is what they want. So I mean,
I was literally saying kumbaya and laughing because I just really don't understand how these folks can go from y'all ain't shit and we can't stand y'all to let's just get into unity and kumbaya this bitch. Let's all hold hands and sing kumbaya, my lord. Like, fuck you. I'm not doing that.
these people think they're entitled to our labor. They still think of us as slaves. You know that title when they say nobody's free until everybody's free. Child, that saying is truly nobody's free until black folks are back in slavery is really what they're saying because they feel that they're entitled for our platforms and our voices.
I don't have the wherewithal to argue with them anymore. We spent 2 months arguing with people. You told me to go mind my Maryland ass business. So guess what I'm gonna do? Mind my Maryland ass business and watch how all of this unfolds, because as I said in my video that I posted earlier, they are coming for this man. They have all of his tweets. So somebody was in the back and they were gathering all this intel on him, this oppo.
And they could have posted that shit before now, but they
held that shit on purpose. And they were like, if he wins, we are going to go at him and be like, they basically call him Wokarico. They are calling him Temu Beto. They are calling him all kinds of stuff. They're going to attack his sexuality. I watch Republicans and what they do. They are all on my goddamn timeline. All of their big accounts are going after.
He married?
No.
But he definitely, I mean, that's one. I mean, like, look, I'm all for everybody being gay, but kidding goes, I don't really have a type. I see the beauty and I find multiple things in the world attractive, but absolutely not.
He does. Okay, so he's a native Texan. And he does have a Texas face. I mean, I'm a former Texan, so that's what they look like out there. I mean, even with the boots that he wears and the the straight leg pants. I mean, it's a lot going on with James. But at the end of the day, that shouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but I'm just saying that this is what they're going to attack. This is how they're going to attack him. They pulled his like tweets about white people. And I mean, they are going in.
Somebody in the comments talking about it. So there was rumors about him, liking OnlyFans models and stuff like that and having subscriptions. So they got all this type of tea.
They have lots of, like I said, they have a folder.
OnlyFans does he like? What does he like?
I don't know, but I do remember all of that was going on.
What was he liking?
But here's the thing.
Keeks.
But here's the crazy thing about this, right? Even though we already know about the OnlyFans and stuff like that. Notice how Jasmine Crockett supporters never weaponized things like that to go after him.
Exactly.
We tried to just stick on substance and speaking about the resume. We don't do things like that, but these same people are trying to say, hey, I need you guys to come over here and help us, da 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 da. They're waving the white flag and telling us to come on over, but we ain't coming over, baby. Not at all. So when we're looking at what's happening, I don't know if you saw Donald Trump's tweet that says we got the candidate that we need, that he made on Truth Social. And he said that he's going to be making an announcement to endorse a candidate. And he wants whoever the fuck he doesn't endorse to drop the fuck out. So if he leans towards Cornyn, that means Trump is going to rain hell in Texas.
Cornyn, I think.
He's going to pick Cornyn, and the other guy already said he's not. Paxton said he's not leaving the race.
But he's
What is going to happen? So let me tell you what's going to happen. What Trump is trying to do is dry up funding, right? So what he's going to force Paxton to, like, he may not leave the race per se, but the reason why Trump has to get involved in that side of it is because John Cornyn spent like $60 million to try to like even get to this runoff, right? And discredit Ken Paxton. These people play dirty. That's what Republicans do, right? I mean, he went at Paxton over his cheating. I mean, these ads are insane. And Trump knows that in order for this primary or this runoff to actually foster something that is actually meaningful, meaning they would get Cornyn, that Cornyn's going to have to spend $100 million to beat Ken Paxton. And Trump knows that will dry up money for all the other races that are out there. And this is a runoff. This is not even the general election. This race in general is going to cost like over $200 million at the end of the day. So they have to keep this seat. So they need Cornyn based on the polls that they have. They need Cornyn to be the nominee, whether it was Jasmine or whether it was Talarico. They need Cornyn to actually be the nominee. So Trump is going to dry Ken Paxton. And that is what he's going to do. So don't be fooled, because people are like, oh, well, the reason that he's going to endorse Cornyn is because of no, it's not. It has nothing to do with Talarico. It's about money. This always comes down to money for Republicans.
It is.
Child, it's gonna be a mess. All I know is that if the Talarico people were, pussies about us just calling out the fact that, he got, donations from Miriam Adelson. And I think that's the only thing that we really did. We didn't go after him personally. We didn't talk about his tone. We didn't talk about anything else. We didn't talk about his looks. We didn't do that type of ill shit. I hope they're prepared for what MAGA has in store for them.
No, they're not. They're not.
Because all we did was a retaliation. I'm talking about a reaction to something that y'all started. So I hope y'all are ready to deal with the real fucking enemy, which is MAGA. And good luck. Because I won't be doing a damn thing.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. The people that do the heaviest hitting are the people like that's right here. We're not going to be, look, I'm going to do my part to support Talarico in the same way I'm doing my part to support Andy Cooper. Roy Cooper. I'm going to do the exact same thing.
I'm going to do more for Roy Cooper, Chad. I can do some shit for him.
I'm not going any further, and I'm not going to do any more. So did Hassan, did he do this shit again? Is this the old time this motherfucker came at me? Or is this stupid piece of shit still coming at me? Is he still doing this shit?
What happened?
Is this new, Dewan? Is this new or the old one? Because I blocked that motherfucker. I
never even did a video. I've never even addressed Hassan Piker. So it's interesting that my voice is up in his motherfucking name, like his mouth, because I don't even say shit about him, and they can't even talk about me or anything that I motherfucking said. This man done did and said shit that's worse and actually hurt people by telling them not to fucking
Hassan Piker literally said, if they're old enough to count, they're old enough to mouth. Keep your motherfucking keep me out of your mouth, you piece of shit fuck. You worry about what the fuck is happening to your people.
It's crazy. The whole thing to me is like, when you ask about are they prepared to fight with MAGA? No, because people that support these types of candidates, like people that support Talarico, they hate Democrats. They only know how to fight Democrats. They do not know, like we know, how to battle MAGA. And we can't even battle them the way that we need to, because we don't even have the mechanisms to do that. These people have millions and millions of followers. And the Keith Edwards and all these other people that have huge platforms, guess what? Y'all better go learn how to fight with MAGA, because they are the ones that are going to come for your boy. But I promise you, those same people are going to be nowhere to be found, because they do not like Democrats. It has nothing to do with MAGA. And it's sad. It's a sad situation to watch how they're going to do Talarico so dirty. And like you said, Kenny, they do not, our labor is not going to come, because you told us to mind our business. So therefore, you will not see me defending Talarico. And I don't give a damn if people get mad at me for saying that. I don't have the time to do that. I have a whole race that I have to worry about in my district, because I have an open seat. We have a governor's race that we need to prepare for. So I don't have time to be sitting on the internet and fussing with people about some damn James Talarico and shit he said 5 years ago in tweets about white people. White people can go defend other white people, period.
Exactly. And it was 5 years ago. Hell, if y'all want to be upset about it, y'all be upset about it.
I don't give a shit about that. I mean,
nothing to do with us over here. Child, I'm minding my black business. I'm going back to resting and just focusing on my own damn elections, like Tiff said.
I think that is the majority of people. You know, I do not see, this is going to be a really, again, like, you know what, I guess it all can be summarized in what Kenny said at the very beginning. That is his job. Let him do his job.
Mm-hmm.
Let him do his job. All I care about is getting control of the Senate. And, you know, there's a path to that doesn't include Texas. We don't want to just render any seat, but we can do it without Texas. This is what our friend Myron said.
Myron is so funny.
You courted these people. You said you can win them over. And I would just say...
Can you guys hear it?
Mm-hmm. Good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you, because this group, they were waiting for you to win. They were hoping you won. They didn't want to go against Jasmine Crockett, and certainly they would have a bunch of vile, nasty things to say about her today, and they do. but they're coming after you. These are the people that you said you can win over. You can talk to them. You can go to them, right? Because they're coming after you, right? They have him on video talking about, the border and everything, while they're showing people crossing the border. I don't know when that video was from, but that's what they're going after him on. And they're taking some quotes he had at one of his speeches. They're coming after. These are the people you said you can talk to. Your left-wing people, those podcast bros that I've had it lately, they said you can talk to them. They'll listen to you. They are out. Now, this guy's a clown. Wesley for Texas. That toaster head, this guy loses. It's just him. But he said that Talarico was created in a lab. What they did was they took Beto, they did all the analysis as to why he lost, and then they created Talarico. This is what they did. Now, it doesn't matter what Republicans are saying because they're going to say lies and stuff. But they're on the Bird app with all his old tweets, and they are out in force attacking him. These are people he can talk to, remember? Remember people like that he held the Bible? They're quoting scripture on him and all this kind of stuff. They're gonna snatch that Christianity right from up under him. Oh my God! Now they're comparing him to Jim Jones. Oh boy! There you go. Yeah, your old pal Rogan. Maybe you went there to using your little speech there, but y'all were all so convinced that little Doogie Howser here could go talk to them. They would be kind to him. They'll welcome him in. But as people are saying, there's 8 months to go, right? He needs money. He's going to get money from Democratic donors around the country. He ain't getting money from no black people, I'll tell you that much. We've been asking this.
Even if he gets it.
He said he didn't need us. So he needs white voters, you courted.
And Tiffany laid a foundation before we even got here. So Myron is talking about, again, we're not going to be giving, he's going to be in a lurch, and this man is focused on a certain kind of voter. Well, Tiffany laid this out before the election.
I read this morning and it really irked my nerves. First of all, I have no idea who Progressive Change Campaign Committee is. Never heard of them before. Went to look up the group, and these are the co-founders. A reason I went to go look up this group is because of what Adam Green said in the article. He says that Talarico is more electable because Jasmine Crockett said in her interview when she first jumped into the race that her goal is not to convert Trump voters to win the general election. He then says that no economic populist would ever say that. Last time I checked, Jasmine never said she was an economic populist. He also says, we are trying to appeal to independent and Republican voters. What irks my nerves about this is that you never hear Republicans say shit like this. Republicans are never like, man, we need to go appeal to those Democrats. They don't give a shit if Democrats vote for them. What they're trying to do is get Latinos and people who do not like the Democratic Party to vote for them. That's what they do. So Democrats, go find people that don't like Republicans and the shit that they are doing, because they are doing plenty. There is plenty of shit that is happening in this country that people are pissed about. You need to go find those voters and get them off their ass. And that was Jasmine's goal. Here's what Jasmine actually said in her interview. And I want to make this very clear. You are not going to win MAGA Republicans, whether you're Talarico or you are Jasmine Crockett. Those people are in a cult.
How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
You need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that get ignored, specifically in the state of Texas. Listen, the state of Texas is 61% people of color. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of good folk that we can talk to. We know that when Beto came really close, Beto, who is a progressive, we know that he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African-American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president who says it's a Democratic hoax.
It was, again, I think people in the comments are saying like, yeah, this is exactly it. We had that in the candidate, but it didn't go. And can we live with Cornyn or Paxton? Can we live with that? Like, if we're saying we're not going to fight hard for Texas, can we live with the consequences of Black inaction?
Well, child, we're living with them now. Child, that's our reality at this moment. But I'm not telling people not to vote. We obviously need to vote for, I'm not saying the lesser of two evils. I don't like that term. But I will say you need to vote for harm reduction like we've always have. I know there's Black folks right now are feeling frustrated because they feel like, why is it that every other group in diaspora gets to weaponize their vote and say, hey, I'm not going to vote. The Palestinians said, hey, we're not going to vote. We're not going to show up. Dearborn actually voted for Donald Trump. And it's interesting that everybody could weaponize their own political capital but we are expected to show up every time. I understand that frustration. It does suck. But I do know that if we do not vote, it will be a detriment to us. We will feel it harder than everybody else. So I'm asking my people to vote. And I know some people want them to learn a hard lesson, but sometimes this is just the nature of it. It's just another day living in racist ass America. Yeah. This is our reality. America will never live up to its full promise. At least
now,
not for us.
In defense of the DNC, now this is not the damn DNC going after MAGA voters. That's just not how it works. That's not fair to say. Like, I think people constantly want to attack the DNC, not understanding how these things work. This is not the DNC saying we're going to go after MAGA voters. It is a subset of people who are doing that. You may see them as DNC. Like, some people see these podcast bros, these Obama consultants as DNC. They're actually not. The leadership of the DNC is actually the outsiders of that group of people. So, yeah, I do believe you have a lot of your pundits like Tim Miller and these John Favreau and these motherfuckers who do that stupid shit. They're the ones saying we want to go after our fellow whites and family members who have left the Democratic Party and bring them back because they are a part of the cult. Then you have another subset of people who are on the far left group, and that's when someone brought up the lady, Welch from, I've Had It podcast. Those people are saying going in the opposite direction. So it's a lot of argument and tension within the party about who we want to get to be a part of the big tent. But none of those people fighting are the members are elected leaders of the DNC.
I agree. I think there's a difference between people voting. I would never tell people to not vote. So somebody said in my comments, why we should encourage Jasmine to be an independent, and no, we're not doing that. What we are going to do,
we're not going to do it, but we may want to do it.
But yeah, I just think that I would never discourage people from voting because that is not the way that I go about things. But I do think that for far too long, Black voters, women in the Democratic Party, some Latinos, there's still 46% of them that vote for Democrats. A lot of people just really have given their time, their effort, and it's their personal time. And I've talked about this with Ms. D on our podcast about the advocacy that we do, right? The advocacy that we do is time consuming. We mostly do not get paid for the advocacy that we do. And no one is going to take their time to work and help somebody that they do not trust, okay? People in Texas and people who are just watching this race, a lot of people just do not trust who James Talarico is. So it is up to him to earn that from us. I would say I've seen it before, right? I would say Mamdani in New York, he earned some advocacy from us. We did not necessarily trust him at first because of some of his stances, but he earned that. But he never also disrespected. He didn't have people that were disrespecting us, that were supporting him. So there's different dynamics that are happening within, like you said, the party, where people are pissing us off and then his people are like, hey, why don't you come and help him? No, we're not helping you. You wanted to do this on your own. You are going to do this on your own. And I, Tiffany, do not have the time nor the wherewithal to sit here and do all this for your candidate that you told me to mind my effing business. So you know what? I'm going to mind my business. I'm not going to give him money. But if James Talarico wants to earn our support, they know where to find us. They know where to come to talk to us and have that conversation about, can we provide our advocacy for him? And he can ask for that advocacy, but he's not getting it just off GP. That's not
he's not getting it at all for me, but I would love for him to go after the Black content creators, the Black Texas content creators that he disrespected. That constantly sent him emails about harassment and bullying, and they did absolutely nothing. They never did any announcements. They didn't do anything. In fact, they actually stoked the fire a little bit, the way that they painted Morgan out to be a liar. So like those are the people he needs to reach out. Those are the people who deserve reconciliation. Those are the people who deserve all of that. Like I like they deserve it. They need an apology.
No, they should. The first thing they should do, like I thought about today when I was in the car, like the first thing that Mom Donnie did when he won, even though he didn't win the Black vote, he did win the young Black voters. The first thing he did was took his ass to NAM and he went and talked to them people. Okay, Al Sharpton had him there on that day. Like the day, like that was like the Saturday after, he was there and he was talking trying to connect with Black voters, and that opened the door for what was to come. James has that opportunity where, like you said, he needs to go call Morgan and all these other people, get Howdy, all these people in a room and talk to them and try to understand what they need to do to help him to win, because he needs the advocate. I'm telling you, those people that were riding for him because they do not like Democrats are not going to be the ones that are going to help him on these damn internet streets. They're not.
Yeah, and so I want to answer a few of the questions that have come up. We had some real quick. Does Jasmine? Yes, Jasmine's going to remain in Congress to the end of the year. At the end of this congressional term, her term will end. And so from 2027 until 2029, Jasmine Crockett will not be in Congress. Maybe she'll come back. Maybe we don't know. But she definitely, but she has until the end of this year to finish out her congressional term. Also, let me go back up. That was one good question. There was a few other ones. Tiffany, they would say, what does GP mean on general principle?
Mm-hmm.
So Tiffany, what does that mean?
It means
when someone says on general principle, I mean, what does it mean on a broader scale?
It just means that just because you are the nominee doesn't mean that we are going to go ride or die for you. You're going to have to prove to us that you actually deserve our advocacy. You deserve for us to defend you. I'm not giving it to you just because, like you said, on general principle, just because you are the Dem candidate in this race, period.
But that just speaks to a lot about our character. For most people who try to talk shit about us, it's interesting that even with the amount of disrespectful shit that we had to go through with harassment, bullying, doxing, etc., mischaracterizations, all of these things, it's the fact that we can still stand on business and stand for democracy and still encourage people to vote and still say, hey, no matter what the fuck happens, I'm going to tell people we need to protect democracy. We need to protect the most marginalized communities and not use our platforms irresponsibly, and tell people, hey, sit your ass at home. We don't do shit like that. We don't play politics with people's lives because our feelings got hurt because you didn't pick the right goddamn candidate. We understand this is bigger than us. We're not Hassan Piker. We're not any of these motherfuckers. None of them. We're not Pete Edwards. We're not none of these damn people. So all these people who got so much shit to say about us, there's not one video, anything that I've ever said, don't go vote, sit at home, make them suffer. No, I've never done no shit like that. Never with my platform. Now, I might have cussed some people out and called you all types of motherfucking names, called you all types of, shit. But at the end of the day, I'm standing on business.
And I don't mean I don't want to. Like, listen, let me be just transparent. I will vote, but I will not. This is the all we're asked to do in a democracy is vote. Everything else that we do is well beyond what we should. Well beyond what we should. And yeah, I would love to give these motherfuckers a taste of their own medicine. You have sat up here and you sabotaged and ensured that Vice President Kamala Harris would not be in the White House. You sat up here uncommitted. You sat up here and withheld your vote. You sat up here and talked about some goddamn genocide joke. You caused the Secretary of Administration and every single thing that has come after it. Because you were not a part of a brainwashed cult. You willingly, of your own free will, without the mental brainwashing, made a choice to fuck over America. So I absolutely would love to be like, withhold your vote. Show them the power of the black vote. Make them motherfuckers hurt for 6 goddamn years and live with their choices. But I'm not them. And I won't.
It's not in our nature. When Kendrick Lamar said they not like us, that's what the fuck it means. And I'm not saying that we're superior. I just think that we have a better moral clarity than your motherfucking asses do. Even though you don't think we're human beings, but we do.
And we also understand primaries. We understand that it's a contest. I feel like people wanted us to be mad. Like I was disappointed. There's a difference
mad
and disappointed. I knew that it won. We talked about before. Somebody was going to win the race, right? It was either going to be James or it was going to be Jasmine. Yep. And it ended up being James. The voters did what they did. They came out, they voted, and I am actually proud that so many people came out to vote because they had more votes in this primary than like in many years. So people were engaged. People cared about this primary. My only problem is that, of course, when your candidate doesn't win and 1 million and something people voted for Jasmine, is that now some of those people that were first-time voters or saw themselves in Jasmine and they appreciated who she was, the fighter that she is, that are those people going to become apathetic because they didn't get the outcome that they wanted? And that is always a fear of mine when there's these types of, but I was encouraged by the fact that there was so many people that they even outvoted the Republicans in the primary. So there was positive takeaways. It just was so toxic online with this race, and it was so unnecessary.
But listen again, like, is this true? Our age 40, 50, our moral clarity will keep us undervalued.
I mean, there is some truth and validity in that.
Is this race where they got to fuck around and find out?
There is some truth in that because Black people have so much at stake and we have so much to lose, unfortunately. And we already understand that it's not like, oh, they're coming for us last year. Even with the whole ICE situation, they're saying, oh, ICE, you better be concerned. Baby, we've been concerned. We're not the first. Y'all are not technically the first, baby. We already understand that you won't be the last neither. So when it comes to us, because we have so much, and unfortunately, the Democratic Party in some ways do weaponize the fact that we do have too much on the line to where they take us for granted, and that's just a fact. They only show up and give us crumbs and say, "Hey, we're going to show up to a Black church. Oh, we'll do your radio show, or we'll go on your platform, we'll hum and sway and tell you, or rap a song." But they won't give us anything of substance. Now, there's certain candidates who have offered us something. And those are the people that we've heavily backed. But for the people that Black people haven't really fully backed, we always get the bare minimum.
Well, Lakers 18 is cooning. Lakers 18 is cooning said the last 15 years we had a Black POTUS and Black woman VP. Stop blaming others. Lakers 18 is cooning said that.
What is he talking about? Does he not know what Joe Biden's did for the Black community, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, child, I don't know. These people crazy.
Does he not know what Obama did for the Black community, or what the fuck is he talking about?
He says that Black people have been elected, so that's not the issue.
No, Black people are the minority. Just like literally, we make up what 13% of elected officials, the same exact amount of what we make up in the population
of Texas.
So what the hell are you talking about? How the hell do we move a whole fucking country, or how the hell do we move Congress when we're not the fucking majority? How does that work? Make that shit make sense to me. Could you do some math, please? What damn class did you go to? Does 2 + 2 equal 45? What does it equal to you, Coon? What's going on? Tell me your math.
It's gonna be really it's gonna be really interesting to see. We at this point, we can all bow out. It's just about the people of Texas, and let's see what they do. I do believe in that.
Let me just say this. If people want to come help me in my race, y'all more than welcome. Because I don't understand why people are like, don't come help, because listen, I got like 20 people running in my house district, and they all get on my last nerves. Okay, every last one of them pissing me off right now. So there is so much work to do. And we also have other races. There's other shit happening. There's an Illinois primary. We could elect a Black woman in Illinois. Like, we really, this race has taken over. This has taken over too much of our energy. I'm sorry.
The reason why is because this is literally a foreshadowing of what's going to happen in 2028. So I hope everybody is prepared. So let's prepare for our 2 white male candidates at the top of the ticket.
This is a true indication. What you saw now is a small sampling of how bad it's going to be in the fight in 2028. When people actually, when we get Democratic candidates, it's going to be a mess. Now, Harvey Johnson, I challenge you on this. In the Black community, no one's kept their word since they got our vote. Let me tell you something. In December of 2024, when I had the chance to stand in the Oval Office with President Joseph Robinette Biden, I held his hand. And I looked at man in his eyes that were extremely young looking compared to the rest of his body and in his face. And I said, I was shocked at how beautiful the man's eyes were. Let's be honest, and not beautiful in terms of like, oh, he's so, in terms of just clean, clear eyes. Like, I'm like, this man's eyes look brand new. And I said, let me tell you something. You made mistakes in your career and said things and did things that may not have benefited the Black community. But I have watched you for 4 years right those wrongs, and everything you promised on that campaign trail for Black people, you did. So I got to tell you, Joe Biden kept his promises to the Black community because I was motherfucking keeping track. I watched him in those contracts. I watched him in his appointments. You promised a Black VP and you gave us one. You promised a Black Supreme Court justice that was a woman and you gave us one. You promised more loans and opportunities to Black business and you delivered. You had a coalition built in your White House that looked like America with overrepresentation of Black people. You kept your promises, Joe. And I told him that. And that was a powerful moment in my life. It was.
Amen.
Yeah, and I
kept his damn promise. I don't know what the fuck they talking about. They blind or deaf or dumb. Something going on with their asses. I don't know.
There are people that keep promises that are Democrats. I hate that narrative that politicians do not keep their promises. I have a Black ass governor. Okay. I was with him today. Okay. We were he asked for us to come to give him feedback about the things that he was saying. So if he cares about what we think, the people that were in that room look like us. There was one white person in that room, and he was very, very good at telling what he was, what his thoughts were on these issues. And I just think that we need to start looking at candidate quality as well as, Jasmine had a ton of experience. She is a quality politician. Did she run a great campaign? I would say it was like mid. It was okay. We can have critiques on politicians and the things that they do. Yes, we should want more. We want more. I told Wes Moore the things that I want him to do better, and he appreciated those things. When I see Angela Alsobrooks, I tell her the things that I would like her to do better. We need politicians who are willing to listen to us and who are willing to understand, but it also requires people who have lived experience to be able to understand the things that we're trying to tell them, because otherwise you have people that are just they don't connect to us. They don't have any kind of connection. And I think that is what people saw in Jasmine. It wasn't so much that she was Black. It was the fact that she was a person who was going to fight for the things that we believe in, that she was going to be the one that was going to fight with, because I don't trust that James Talarico is going to fight with the MAGAs. I'm sorry. I don't think that he has the wherewithal to do that. That's just me.
He just don't have that fire, that force.
We're going to see with those, the tweets that they brought out are tweets that were in defense of Black Lives Matter. So we are about to see real quick, real fast, and in a hurry where this man really stands and what he really wants to signal to the Black community. Any day now, James, when you get ready to address what they're attacking you on the MAGA side, if this man stands up and if this man comes out and says, I meant what I said, he'll earn another level of respect. And I might make a video for him. That might earn you a video, James.
I might like the video, but I ain't.
Look, one thing, let me give an example. So one thing that really endeared me towards Mamdani, and I'm just using as an example, is when they came for Tish James and that man stood up there and he cursed the hell out of Donald Trump and all them people that was coming for her because he stood on business. And I have to see James stand on business. I have not seen him stand on nothing other than Christianity.
I want to see that fire. Prove me wrong. I want to be pleasantly proven wrong. That's all I want, James.
Prove me wrong, please, Lord Jesus.
I would love to do that because I'm not like these leftists. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm willing to give people.
Well, I want to make sure that we're right. I've seen multiple people say that they're not voting for Gina Hinojosa. Gina Hinojosa was supporting Jasmine, right?
Yes.
Guys, Gina Hinojosa.
And she also posted a photo congratulating James Talarico on his decisive win. Just because
she was riding with Team Crockett the whole time. Gina Hinojosa was a big supporter of Jasmine Crockett, so I don't know why anybody would say they're not gonna vote for her because she was on the right side. She was on my side, shit.
Or maybe that's the reason why. So we might have some trolls in here, child. Be careful. They watch us. We found that out.
I think people may be assuming because she's Hispanic, she both supported Talarico.
You can't lump everybody in. See, here's the thing about that we cannot lump everybody into one category because of how the majority voted. That's not the way that goes.
Yeah,
so we shouldn't do that. I don't believe in doing that and lumping people up because then that's when you start feeding into prejudice. And I don't think that's helpful for anybody in this situation. But as far as James go, the reason why, because I'm gonna push back a little bit, Tiff. You said that Jasmine is a politician. I highly doubt. I highly disagree. She's not a politician. She's just a public servant. That's the reason why people relate to her because she reminds us of us. She does not do anything in the realm of thinking about political strategy or how she can prop herself up for political gain. She just doesn't give a damn like that.
But she's still a politician. I mean,
she's a politician, but on paper, she's not thinking strategically like a politician to do
her job is to be a politician but she has a different, like you said, she has a different way of going about things, and she talks like she is us. Jasmine's in the club.
She moves like us.
She moves like us. And I would say the same thing goes for Westmore, right? He was not a politician, but he is now, right? He's a public servant. Whatever label you want to put on it. But the thing is, you have to be able to relate to the people. There is nothing about James Talarico right now to me that I can relate to, and maybe he can prove me wrong. Like I said, I am happy to be proven wrong. I'm happy for me. I will gladly, if you prove me wrong, I will, and I know that we would all get up on that damn thing and be like, you know what, James proved us fucking wrong. And you know what,
rock for real. I did the same thing with Joe. I wasn't a Joe Biden supporter back in 2020. I was talking shit about Joe. And then look what happened when he proved me wrong. Look who was his biggest fucking certificate and advocate. Loyal without a fault because he kept his promises. Because he proved me wrong. And that's the difference between me and y'all. Y'all are fucking fake. Y'all don't know nothing about accountability. Y'all don't know nothing about growth. Y'all don't believe that just because somebody has the right to grow and change their mind that all of a sudden, I've talked shit about everybody. That's what I do. But when you prove me wrong, I'm going to give you your just due. There's the difference. I'm able to acknowledge people's growth. I wish y'all would do the same.
Amen.
And, we will indeed see, if this man can prove us wrong. I think all three of us are wanting. I think that we want that. We want to see it happen. Here's a good let's see the comment. Jasmine good at Kevin Baker Republic doesn't stand up when the Democratic base puts forth random candidates that don't speak to normal working class voters. That is a narrative that people are pushing. Is it true? I would argue that it's not. I don't know what you want to be the fucking language to working class voters, because what that really means in plain terms is white people who are middle class and lower. That's what the
so when she doesn't
that's what it means.
For the normal working class people, but yet when Tyson's, that whatever the fuck it was called, that that factory in El Paso was
yeah,
shut down.
but multiple
First thing
factors.
she did was go to El Paso and stand on the line with workers who were literally laid off. So she's not fighting for the working class. I mean, she went to El Paso. She did that. That ain't even her fucking district.
Now, I will tell you this. Now, while I'm not going to sit up here and say that I am calling for people to not vote for James Talarico, let a motherfucking far leftist DSA get his ass up in that bitch. Let that motherfucking happen. The way you motherfuckers done showed your asses out. Let a motherfucking Dearborn Uncommitted get their motherfucking asses up in that bitch, because you motherfuckers are not being forgiven. You are not being forgiven. Hop your ass up and you run for some shit. That's the motherfucking vote I will not cast. I will not cast. You sat up here and derail comment with this type of shit, and now you want to sit up here and talk about working class. We know what the fuck that means, because you don't consider my black ass and the black ass people around me to be working class. We see through the bullshit. And if you are black or brown and you don't see through the bullshit, wake the fuck up, because that's what it truly means to be woke.
Speaking of waking up, I will at least say this, and I will land my plane here. I am so proud for the first time that Nina Turner actually admitted that there is a racial bias that was happening between Jasmine Crockett and
So you finna forgive him? You finna forgive him?
No, I don't forgive shit, but I will acknowledge it. You see the difference? I will acknowledge for the first time she did something that act up. That's all I've ever wanted from her, is to acknowledge the racism that's happening on the left and understand that they were using her as a token and weaponizing her blackness and her complexion to dismiss us and our experiences. So I am proud of you, Nina. Congratulations.
The funny thing is though with that, Kenny, is that the people, they were so mad at Nina Turner for coming to like actually even speak on the race. Like they were not happy that she was talking about it. They were destroying her in the comments.
She got a taste of it.
And
she's got more than a taste of it. She has experience of it. She just won't ever talk about it. Nina, I know for a fact that they didn't do shit to help her when it came to the content. They gave her money and stuff like that, but they didn't do
They didn't do
the shit for Cori Bush. They didn't do shit for Jamal Bowman. They don't do anything for black candidates, at least not their face.
Kenny,
so
say it again.
For a fact.
People, I need y'all to hear that. I need y'all to hear that. These, first off, the leadership, and then what? And let me just make myself big, because this might be clipped. It's people are everywhere watching. My political ideology is extremely progressive. I want all the things that most of these far leftists want to make America a better place. I absolutely understand the philosophies. I understood it before most of those motherfuckers was even born. They were sitting there shitting in their diapers when I was reading the books and coming to my own conclusions and learning and leaning not into my own understandings, but getting professors and learned people to assist me in creating the ideology. Absolutely. But we are living in a time frame when you people have hijacked some shit, and what you've done is you've aligned yourself to what should be a party open for the people, but that's led by 70% white men with high economic means, and they are pretending to be something that they're not for their own financial gain. And they're using you and speaking the language of populism to get you to carry their water. And so when you have people who might have gotten into the game being well-meaning, like Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, people who I once had great respect for, once had great admiration for. Jamal Bowman's a motherfucking teacher. I believed in that man. Cori Bush is a nurse. I believed in that woman. But you got there and then you became a pawn for that movement that doesn't center you or care about you, and you let that movement use you up and kick you the fuck out. Because exactly as Kenny said, they didn't give you shit to help you. And when you're sitting up here blasting black candidates for getting money from a super PAC, where the fuck are they with their money from? How you gonna fund them? How they gonna run against well-funded, overly funded Republicans and still have a chance?
But the hypocrisy of it all. Bernie had a super PAC. Our revolution was ran by Nina Turner. They had the super PAC. Also funneled money from 1630, the same thing that they keep attacking us over. It's crazy to me that it's okay for them, but it's wrong for us. They want us to tie our hands. They don't want us to compete. So that's the issue. And that's always been the issue. And that's all I've ever wanted from these black, progressive. I don't know what the fuck to call them, but
That's
I've
the
just wanted to
motherfucking
acknowledge it.
champagne socialist is it. That is the word for it. You are right. Love it.
Can I just address one thing? Because I think Madden 615 said, is DSA, and some in the comments, they said, isn't DSA a black and brown organization? No, it's a very white-centered organization.
People, the thing, Tiffany, say it, but my God, thank you, Jesus. People, the DSA, don't look at what you're seeing is they use us. They use our black and brown bodies on the front lines. They get a black woman, usually a big black woman, and have her hold up a motherfucking megaphone and do all their talking points for them because they know it looks good. And that's what they're trying to go for, because we're the ones who are poor and we're the ones who are struggling and we're the ones doing without. But the reality is their leadership is 70% white men. That's who leads the organization. Those are the candidates they want to prop up, like motherfucking Cat in goddamn Illinois, goddamn David Hogg. These are the people that they promote. These are the people that they funnel money into, not us.
While when these people want to run, they always make excuses on why you can't. I mean, no tea, no shade. Well, who's the person who was supposed to primary Hakeem Jeffries in his district that they didn't support?
Che. Is that how you say his name, Che?
And he was heavy for Mamdani, and they said nah.
They
said no.
Damn
they told the black man no. They said we're not going to support you.
Support the damn game because he was DSA and unfunded.
But the thing with what DSA does is they it's black faces, right? The brown faces. So you look at their website, right? And you would see that the candidates that they would run are black and brown. But the people that are in the organization, who are running the organization, go look at the membership of the organization. It is mostly white.
And people don't see that. They don't do that.
Child, they gonna wake up eventually when they're tired of being used.
And they weren't supporting him, Madden. He didn't run because he knew he couldn't win, and the motherfucking DSA had hyped him up, put him out there, and they were not gonna give him the support that he needed to take the seat. And he knew it was a losing battle. He was gonna lose more in his political career than he would possibly gain.
Yeah, and he didn't get the endorsement for a reason, and they have tried to, especially in New York, they have tried to run people in a lot of different seats. There are people so I'm going to give you one example. So what's her name? Nydia Velasquez, her seat, right? There's a DSA person that's running. There's a non-DSA person that's running, which is Antonio Reynoso. And both candidates are decent candidates. I like Antonio better. You start to see like the schism between them. So you have like, what's her name? Tish James, and you have different people that are, and Mamdani's with the DSA person. The question is, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people endorsing who they want to endorse. Mm-hmm. They're both Hispanic. It fit the district. And we'll see how these things go. I'm not the DSA people. There's DSA candidates that I'm like, okay, well, maybe I don't like that person. But there are people that I'm like, okay, they're okay. They're not bad people. I just don't like their organization. I just cannot fucking stand the organization. It is a white-centered organization that runs black faces and black people and brown people. And then they do stupid shit like they did in 2024 with Kamala Harris. And I don't like that shit.
And that they're still doing as they are fucking protesting the damn book. So with that being said, look, we are at time. We will, of course, thank you guys for joining. We have 433 people currently watching, and we appreciate it. We're thankful for it. And we look forward to having, you guys back next week. Hopefully it's going to be, I'm sure it will be a slower week, more results coming in, more to look at. And, we can't wait to see it. Now, if you are not following my YouTube, please do so. This is going to be tomorrow's episode of my other podcast, Kings at the Table. We film in the studio. It's studio produced. I'm pumping out a lot. So I am not great with money. I'm great at making it because I'm a hardworking motherfucker. but I am not so great with how I spend it. So my ex presented to me a great question recently, and he said to me, "You do this podcast. How much money have you made on your YouTube and the podcast?" And the answer is nothing, not a motherfucking dime. How much do you spend on this podcast that's produced in the studio? A whole lot of dimes. And I'm going to leave it there. But way more. And then it became, look at what you could be doing with those dimes if you weren't sitting here investing in this YouTube. I mean, in this. And I'm like, you know what? That's a good point. So I have paid for 8 more episodes, and I need some views. I need some growth on this page to continue it. If not, I will repurpose that money, not into an investment, but into a vacation. With that being said, we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.